Good morning, good evening to my fellow Liberian. This is Liberia Motivated slash Reality. We want to bless God this Thursday evening or morning to those of you that are in different part of the world. We want to say thank God, and I want to tell you people that God is great. God is always great. We have to be able to understand that without God, we are nothing. And our God is always with us. And in everything that we do, in your politics, in your life, in your daily life, you got to give God gratitude. So thank you all for being here. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific thing that is very important that we are missing out, and that some of us we actually switch off today, and we got our homes, our institutions, and our countries, our society, and our organization broken apart. One important thing that we have to know as a human, first of all, you need to find your own definition. Defining yourself, who you are. That's the first thing. That's the first step in life that every individual would like to do. Defining yourself, who I am. What am I purpose to do? What is my reason of coming on earth? So when we talk about these things, we are trying to look at the biblical foundation of human life. You know, when God made us, He made us for a purpose. He defined us as a human. He defined us. He attached our definitions. Through define us, we were identified by Him to be the people of wisdom, knowledge, prosperity, and people that accomplish things. So when you look at the foundation, God told Isaiah, He said, Isaiah, when you were in your mother womb, I knew. When you were not yet born, when you were in your mother womb, I knew you. That is simply means that God is telling Isaiah that he was defined when he was still in his mother womb. He knew his identity. He was defined. So today, if we come back to ourselves as a human, the question is, have you found your own definition? Yes, a lot of people find their own definition. Some people say, I'm a man with integrity. I'm a man that respect. I'm a man that does not steal. I'm a man that does not play around people things. I'm a man that if you do this to me, I respond to you nicely. In all those categories, if you think that you have defined yourself and you make your definition known, then you have to stay with your identity. Because when you have been defined, then what? You've been attached to what? Identity. You see that? If I define myself as a David Kokrat, that okay, I'm a very kind man, I'm a lovely man, I'm the man that feel for people, I'm a man that I don't take people things and suffer people, I'm a man that have feeling for one another, that if you work for me, I will pay you, I will do this. I have feeling for him. These are all my definition. I gave you the guarantee that this is who I am. But tomorrow, I change into a different thing because I define myself to you as a good person, as a liberal person, as a person with unity, with good character. And by that definition, you identify me. I was identified, identity attached to me. That's Mr. Cochrane. He's a good guy. He's an important guy. He's a good guy. He's a God-fearing individual. When it comes back to our women that we have today, so most of them say, "Oh, I'm a good husband, or I'm a good wife." You have been identified as a good husband or good wife. But in the process, after you identify yourself, and everybody know you that you are married, you are a good woman, out of certain, you went off here, you started doing things that you're not supposed to do. Then that means your definition that was given, and by your identity, you lose everything. So it is very, very important to first of all define yourself. Because if you define yourself as an individual, there will be identity that attached to you that is like a number, like an ID card, that, oh yeah, this guy, he's a Christian, or he's a good guy, he's a housewife, or he's a husband. That means people are looking at you from that perspective. Then you set your living standard. But today, what are we suffering from what? From our country, from our people, from our government, from our society, from our organization, from our community, is people cannot define themselves. See that? You have to define yourself. If you define yourself, then you stay with your identity. But what do we have in the society today? We will have a lot of people that will criticize another person, that they are corrupt, they are rogue, they are thief, they are like this. In fact, said they are so and so, they call their names. And they define themselves that they are the good people. See that? But at the end, they put off bad result. They give off bad result. So it makes the world confused. It makes people confused. That is the problem we are facing right now in our homes, in our society, in our country, in our world. Because people define themselves to be the good people. And at the end, the identity become what? Wrong. You see that? So when God defined Isaiah, the Bible says Isaiah stayed with what? The good identity that God gave him. Even when you look at the life of Samuel, when Samuel was in the house of the priest, Samuel was identified, he was defined as a priest, as at the lower age. And Samuel stayed on the path, and Samuel became the priest. If you look at the life of David, David was anointed. David was defined as a king of Israel at the time when he was a baby. With all what David went through on Saul, the molesting, the attack. Because what? David was what? David was defined from the beginning. See that? David was defined. He was anointed as a king. So what David does is for David to stay within his identity, David maintained, he maintained patience. He maintained the fearness of God. He maintained peace. If I'm speaking to somebody this Thursday, you have to share this video. This video is a worldwide motivative / reality. I want for people to hear this. And today, when you look in our country, what we are facing right now, we have people with different definition, with different identity. So the country cannot be stable. The country is racking up. And the people that are bearing the people that gave us their what? Their definition, and they are maintaining their identity, we take them to be the wrong people. So Liberians, we got to be careful around this 2023, what we are going through, what we are seeing. Liberia motivated / reality. We deal with subject according to biblical principle. We gave you example. We gave you God's definition. We gave you every definition, and it comes to you to conclude that we need to be mindful. We need to be careful. That is why today we came up with the topic: define yourself and stay with your identity. Because many people, many politicians we have today, I don't know. That's why today for me, if I go, look, I'm in Cedar Rapids, I live among people, but when I go out there to like for barbecue, I have people that come to me to argue with me, but they cannot have no space in my territory because they know that I am telling them the truth. If we sit here today, if we want to be proud of Liberia, if we want to be proud of our country, we have to observe these things that I'm talking about. Because there are many definitions out there with different identity. Many definition is given to us as a Liberian, but when it comes to identity, they have different identity. Their behavior, they prove themselves to be the people, the leader for the people, and the leader that will rescue the people, the leaders that will what? Be there for the people. But as long as they put them in office, they show different identity. Then the Liberian people become confused. Then we begin to what? We become traumatized. We don't know what to do. And we have been living with this over a decade, I can say. Why now? We look at the reality from this Liberian reality show. I'm not saying that nobody should vote for anybody for election. I'm not saying that Liberia don't need rescue. But let us see the reality and the fact about our past, what we are going through. How many of Liberians, how many of senators that have promised you guys and say, look, I am the light, I am the this, I am the that. That was a definition they gave you. But at the end, if you put them in position, what they do? They have different identity. So with all these situations that surrounding our lives and the lives of our people, sometimes when we come to the reality of life, we don't have to focus on what we want to get, but setting the foundation and making people to understand the principles of life and the foundation of life. That is why this morning or this afternoon, Liberia Reality Show want to tell you, even as an individual Liberian in a community, define yourself. And I know many of you today have been defining yourself to your friends, to your co-workers, to your neighbor, to your community, in your churches, in your organizations. The friendship that you have with people, you define yourself. We see that? We have many people that are friends. Look, they tell their friends that I am a good woman. We can do business together. If you do this, I will do this. If you do that, I will do this. You define yourself to your friend, and you define yourself to your colleagues, and you guys, trying to get into business or whatever you guys are trying to do together in common as a friend. But at the end, you become the person to bring your friend down, or you become the person to gossip about your friend. That's not the identity that your friend know you of. Your friend know you to be the best friend to her or to him. You got all his secret. You discuss things. You do things in common. But at the end, You gave him different behavior. You gave him different character. You confuse him. You make him to not understand again. Like, I thought this woman was not the kind of person. I thought David was not the kind of person. I thought Peter was kind of, because what? The first definition that you gave to your friend, he was so excited. He's like, okay, Mama, I can do it for you. Or John, I can help you. Peter, I can do this for you. John, I can do that for you. But at the end, you have different identity. So these are the problems we are facing today. Liberians, we need to change. If we want to see the country Liberia right now in a different direction, first of all, let each and every one of us find our definition. Define yourself. You define yourself as who? A man that does not corrupt. A man that will what? Have the developmental idea. A woman that is so, patriotic. And people look at you with these definitions, and they believe in you, and they trust in you, and they live by your confession that you confess to them as a good friend, as a good wife, as a good husband, as a good chairman, as a good superintendent, as a good representative. But now, after you have defined yourself, you show different identity. You show different identity. You show different identity. So I believe that many of us today, we have defined ourselves. A lot of people, if you go on a lot of people's platform, if they talk about themselves, you're like, wow, this guy is the best person. David is a good guy. Oh, Martha is a good woman. After they are explained to you about themselves, I'm not like this, I'm not like that. I feel for people. I do this, I do that. You convince me by your definitions, and I accept it. But why are you showing me different identity? You got to live by your definition. And your definition gave you what? Identity. But today, what are we seeing in our community? So when we look at these things, they are really affecting us. And when I say it is affecting us, it's affecting us in many ways. Many ways that we ourselves cannot understand. It starts affecting us from our homes. Number one, we talk about people join into marriages to say, I am a faithful woman. And you talk all the sweet, I will be by you, I will be this. Time come through. You gave your husband a different identity. That one, you live with it for the rest of your life. When we go to in our community, our Liberian community chairman, like right now when you look at Grand Judea Association, it's not easy. People say, okay, I am this, I am that, I have the county I had. And they will do what we're going to do, but when they put it into office, corruption, consumption of money, embezzlements also appear. Boom, the community drop. Good definition, bad identity. When we look in our churches, We have pastors, ministers that are preaching the gospel with confidence. But today, some of them, they are lobbying around, doing all kind of things. As a result, group the church fall. In the choir, people, members thinking, when we go back to the government, oh yes, I will be the good representative. I will be the good leader. I will be the good representation of this county. They gave themselves a good definition. When time comes, they put them there. The community begin to cry. See that? It's because they have not yet found the true definition of themselves. See that? So when God identify or give the definition, the true definition of Samuel in the house of the priest, Samuel's identity showed that actually he what God defined Samuel to be is what God do. If you look at Isaiah, he gave Isaiah, he said, Isaiah, one time you were in your mother's womb, I knew who you was, knew that you were going to be a great prophet. And Isaiah proved it, that he showed it, and his identity showed it. King David, when King David was in Saul's house, he was anointed as a king at the age of, when he was baby. David stayed with his definition, and he proved to the people his true identity. But today, where we are as a community, as a Liberians, are we staying with our definitions? Do we define ourselves the rightful way, or do we lie to one another? See, the problem we face is we all lie to one another. We lied. I will be the one for you. I will be the one for you. I will stand by you. Tomorrow, you change into a wolf. See that? You wear a what? Sheepskin, but you are a total wolf. You define yourself as a sheep that is easy, caring, lovely, calm, good heart, clean. That's the definition you give yourself. And that's the definition people hear from you. But now, you become wolf in the society. You become wolf in your marriage. You become wolf in your church. You become wolf in your family. You become wolf in the society. You become wolf in the representations. You become wolf in the legislature. You become wolf in the presidency. So you see how we are destroying ourselves, our development, our progress. We are destroying everything. It is important as a human, you define yourself, know your definition, and stay with your definition. That is what confusing Africa. See that? Because people don't do what we call thoroughly or tough investigation. They don't do their investigation thoroughly. As long people come out to tell them about themselves, they're going to believe. We quite to believe people, Liberian people. We quite to believe. We quite to accept. We quite to what? Accept definition as a tool or as an important thing to us. We cannot carry on investigation. We cannot do inquiry. Anybody can define themselves here today. We be careful about them. And today, you see again, the election is coming. People are defining themselves. I am the only guy that can rescue Liberia. I have the economic platform in my hand. I can do this. I can build schools. I can build hospitals. I can bring the economy up in less than 6 months. I will settle this. I will settle that. That is what they're doing. They're defining themselves to us again. That's what they call identifiers or define yourself. They are defining themselves. But will they stay with the identity? I don't think so. Because if based on their definition that we accepted, if they can stay with their identity today, I think Liberians, what we are going through today, we will not go through it. We are going through these things because people define themselves, but they have different identity. They have different identity. You see that? That is why sometimes I'm so quiet. I'm so disappointed in most of the Liberian people that are still taking Spoon TV to be an investigation station. You know, they are still sending document over to Stanton Waterspoon. You know, this is going on. This corruption is like that. Then they will send the document. Stanton Waterspoon, I'm sending you the document. This is what going on. The roll form and this and that. Mr. Stanton Waterspoon has defined himself. His definition is new. Who is he for Liberian to even if Liberian have an issue with the roll form, whatever they have? If those people that are found in the eye of those doing things, if the Liberian people get the means, they bring the people to justice, they carry them to the court of law. Let them meet the higher authority. But somebody that defines himself, his definition has been known as somebody that has been adopted by the American people front of by doing false document and all that kind of thing. I believe that Liberians should wait. Let Mr. Stanton Waterspoon go through his investigation, and if not found guilty, then I believe he's set by his integrity. But today, people don't understand what it means by define yourself first. And men, the Stanton Waterspoon, they define themselves as people that don't corrupt, that have clean record. All the money they got to clean it. And they are good people, they sponsor, they help. But what about the indictment they have on him today? That does not speak volume to the Liberian people? That does not speak the truth? That does not define him? But still, our own Liberian, they are living in a society of ignorance. They are ignorance. I don't hate Stanton Waterspoon, but from the hemostand of patriotism and professionalism, I believe that Liberians should stop sending Mr. Stanton Waterspoon any Liberian people document that had to do with investigation. Mr. Stanton Waterspoon has his own problem right now. This is not fair. That is why we don't understand. That is why in Liberia we will still vote for the wrong people. That is why we will still select the wrong people, because we don't take things serious. The last time I talked about discipline, we talk about the law, we use the law to discipline. But now by law, by professionalism, by the code of conduct, when you look at the code of conduct, Mr. Stanton Waterspoon right now has no right to even call me and say, David Kukrati, Send me so and so document. I'm doing so and so investigation. I might be a what? Nincompoop. I might be a nincompoop. To even for Central Waters to ask me, say, David, my man, they say you do that, they send out paper. Let me make sure that you don't do it. I can't do it to Central Waters right now. But Liberian people will keep telling them, they will never understand. And that is the fact, and that is the reality. That is why we are making wrong choice in that country. You see that? I'm not saying the whole entire of Spoon Station. It is a station that he made. But right now, for Senator Waters want to handle documents from Liberia, from the minister, from representative in Liberia, then he reading it. You representative, you Mr. Representative, who you call yourself in Liberia that you are representative, you know the situation Mr. Senator Waters was. What is the what? The integrity, the good code of conduct that you get from him with the indictment that you have right now, that you're still continuing to unveil documentations of the Liberian people onto what? To Senator Waterspoon for investigation, for verification, for whatever you're calling. Why would we do that? Why? Why are we doing that? So these are the same behavior we carry. People will stand up in Liberia and define themselves in a very good way, like they are the angel. They will be the angel for the country. They will be the what? The God, the Jesus Christ to deliver Liberia. But at the end, they give over the wrong identity. But yet and still, we are trying to worship those people still. We don't want to tell them the truth. We don't want to tell them the fact. So then we become what? We become their slave. Then we become their slave. Because we have no minds of investigation. We do not know what they call true identity. We do not know our definition, our own definition. We don't know ourselves. Because if you know your definition, you will stay by it. But today people will define themselves in this way. But they have this behavior. They will talk good about themselves. And when you open your mind, your heart to them, they show you different attitude, show you different identity, they show you different behavior. You see this? When Jesus Christ came on this earth, he was identified in the book of Genesis, in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah spoke about Jesus. He's coming to be the savior of the world. He come to help the poor, to open the eyes of the blind. He come to make the cripple to walk. Jesus stayed on his what? His definition, his identity, proof that everything that God defined about this Messiah, he stood by it and he accomplished it and he finished it. And he went to heaven. And when he was leaving, he said, I'm going to heaven to prepare a place for you. He promised us. He said, I will come back again. You think if Jesus Christ definition that was defined from the book of Genesis all the way to the book of Isaiah, Nehemiah, Zechariah, and the prophecies and whatever they prophesied about Jesus, if those identity was not going to come to pass, you think Christianity is going to stand? Christianity is going to destroy. Even the resurrection alone was a very standard an embarrassing situation that when the Bible said when Jesus died, the disciples were had to scatter. Because Jesus said, if you destroy the temple, I will build it in 3 days. And the disciples were waiting for the resurrection. If Jesus did not stand, if the prophecy, if the definition of Jesus coming to die and to resurrect was not going to come to pass, Peter, John the Baptist, those disciples, they were going to live in limbo. That means he failed the people. See that? Because he was defined to come to rescue, to save, to deliver, to open the eyes of the blind, to make the cripple to walk, to stand for the widow, to be the father of the orphanage, to be the father of the widows. He proved those things beyond all reasonable doubt. But today, what do we find in Liberia? People say, I'm a liberator. I have come to save the country, to take people from poverty. I have come to do this, to help our widows, to help our homeless people. I did proving it. I did doing it. So you see, sometimes that's what I say to people, that even if you don't know God, if you don't know Jesus, if you don't want to believe in God, but believe in the word of the Bible, because there is no any other book that you can link yourself with as a leader that will make you a successful leader. Never. Any. That's why you see the American people, they have that Bible in the warehouse. The Bible, they have the greater, bigger Bible. It is in their parliament that they set it down. It's in that big platform. Sit down there, that Bible. Because there's no leader that cannot do without that Bible. It doesn't matter whether you don't believe in Jesus Christ or you believe in Jesus Christ. As long as you do away that Bible, you cannot be successful. Yes. Because the Bible there, it is the true identity of a good leader. It is a true identity of foundation of good leadership. See that? Today we are talking about defining yourself. See that? Defining yourself. And I'm so sorry today, like, we have a lot of good women in the community. When the Facebook started, even without when we never have Facebook, we have good women out there that define themselves as good women with good integrity, with good moral lifestyle. But look at some of them today on Facebook. They are open Facebook forum, gossiping, causing one another part, causing one another man. What happened to your definition that you gave 3 years ago when Facebook was not in existence? People know you to be a good mother in a community. People knew you to be a respectful woman in North Carolina. People know you to be a good woman in Delaware, in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Iowa, in Pennsylvania, in Texas, in Maryland, in Tennessee, in Dallas. But today, with that definition, what have changed you? What have destroyed your definition? That today you become Facebook muku. You're causing one another. You're pulling one another issue from from their home, from their family home. Everything now is about Facebook discussion. What the Bible says, if somebody do something to you, call the other brother, consult the other brother, go to him, tell him, say, brother, this is what you're doing. I don't like it. If the man continue, call another brother and talk to him, brother. If he still continue, you add one or two to yourself, you'll go to the house. These are the principles, these are the rules, these are the way. But now, you say you are the good woman, you are a good man. Today now, Facebook have changed your definition of who you are. Because what? You have found another identity that will spoil you, that will make people to not respect you, that will make people to be discouraged in you. For me, I'm kind of asking people, if you are define yourself to your friend, to your organization, to your society, to your Liberian people, that you are good, that you are this, that you are somebody that have feeling for people, you are somebody that is not a coward. You take something from people, you make sure you give it back to the person. You are not coward. You don't just take people to and walk away. You are not the kind of person. You define yourself in a very intelligent way, and the person put trust in you and believe in you. Stay with your definition. Let your identity prove that really you are the kind of woman, or you are the kind of man, or you are the kind of person with that kind of character. But today, that is why we are destroying ourselves today. And these things that we are talking about, everything starts from the home. From the home, from the marriages, from the family, from the relationship, to the churches, to the organization, from the organization to the industrial, all the way to the government and to the country. And today, here we are. Right now, because what? Some of us have not yet defined ourselves. And some of us, we have defined ourselves. But our identity proving us wrong with our definition. And you guys can see it. I will be faithful to you until I die. Then can you make that mistake and you stay there? That's what one other guy said yesterday when I was watching their show. The guy said, as an individual, if you define yourself, if you know yourself, stay within your limit. Do not allow friends to even talk to you about your destiny, or talk to you about what to do, what not to do. Because the same friends today, they will say, they will push you, say, do this, do that. If I said, don't do this one, when tomorrow, they will be the same people that will talk trash about you. They will be the same people that talk about you, gossip about you. So if you define yourself as who you are, you better not allow people to intersect your definition. Because when they come, they will sabotage it. And at the long run, your definition will not set it will not cook your identity. We give different definition, then you have different what? Identity. You prove yourself as a married woman, but your identity proves that you are a total prostitute. You prove yourself as a married man, but your identity will prove you as what? Womanizer. You will prove yourself, you will define yourself as a pastor, but your identity will prove you as what? As a false prophet, or as a false pastor. You will prove yourself, you will define yourself as a good representative, but you will what? Your identity will show you that you are a corrupt representative. You will prove yourself as a good, you will define yourself as a good president, but your what? Your identity will prove that you are a corrupt president. You see that? So that's why defining yourself, it is so important. Because if you know your definition, you stay within your lane. Now, the problem we have is people have defined themselves, but they are not stay on the lane of their good definition they give to the public. They become different person. They have different identity. So now the community is in trouble. The home is in trouble. The government is in trouble. The people are in trouble. The society is in trouble. Development is in trouble. Everything is at risk. Because what? We have what? Messed up thing. Thank you. Goodbye. We will stop here today. Thanks for those that watch me. God bless you. Bye-bye. Oh, somebody call